from behind.
Hold on. That's us. We are them. What's up, guys?
Nothing.
Hi,
That's
everybody.
me from behind. Woo!
All right. So it must be another Sunday night.
So I was thinking about this. When do we stop?
I don't know. Like, I think we're on a roll now, whatever that roll may be. Like 7 people watching. I don't know when we stop. When those 7 people decide they've had enough, and one person already did because there's only 6 now.
Because I asked.
I think if we slowly get down to 3, I think that's when we have to really question this. Because
Okay.
one of those could be I'm watching on my phone, so one of those is mine.
Oh, I'm not. I don't watch it on my phone anymore.
I'm not watching.
You got to count for our significant others, right? So there's
They
a
watch?
handful.
Dawn never watches.
Barbara doesn't watch. I don't think. She comments once in a while.
Kathy's watching.
She watches.
Hi, Kath.
No, I'm kidding. Dawn almost always watches because she chimes in like every time. I mean,
I always assume she's sitting next to you, though.
she's on the bed over there usually, but not today. Not today.
Oh, where is she?
She is downstairs. Her sister's birthday party today.
Jay
And
still
you're-
has her locked in the basement.
Yeah, you should probably be at the birthday party.
I was. It started like at 2.
Like I gotta.
Look at that. Jen says that this makes Sunday night better.
If we can do
Sorry.
that, one person. the
And
evolution
Daniel.
is there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. I've been wearing lots of bandanas lately. I need to get more.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
Why?
Sunburn on my nose.
Oh, no.
Oh, nose.
Oh nose. I've been outside all day.
What'd you do outside?
I believe that all of us are going to have the most beautiful landscaped yards.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just keep doing more projects that should never have been even thought of. Forget about done.
We've been working on our oasis, as we call it.
Yeah.
New pool coming in, shower outside. We were talking about putting a little pavilion out back today for music, for live music. I don't know if that's
Yes.
gonna happen. Yeah.
Yes.
I just hung all those like nice yard lights throughout the yard, screen doors on the house, and
Yeah.
made gardens today. And
All right.
I played on my new cornhole boards that Dawn painted up last week. So
Freaky.
fun. Yeah. Ooh.
what are they painted as?
You didn't see them?
No.
Oh, it's a rubber chicken symbol on both of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. No, she did a killer job.
How did I not see these? Because I don't go on Facebook much anymore.
No one does. It's just us 3, and minus you.
How many people watching now?
9 people.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
We hit double digits. We should do something.
We just did 10.
Wow.
What are we doing tonight?
Daniel, wrong show. Let's not talk about other shows.
That's on Tuesday night, Daniel.
Oh, I
Tuesday
didn't
night,
say you
6
could
o'clock.
plug that.
Too late.
Look at that. You've done an amazing job in our backyard oasis, Tim.
Yeah, that's my Smurf wife.
Says the blue-haired beauty.
I think it looks
Is it-
awesome.
It does. Kathy needs movie material. That's what we're talking about tonight, right?
All
Top
right.
5 documentaries, which
Yeah.
could be a very dangerous subject because documentaries can be very deep and dark.
We said upbeat,
We
happy
did.
documentaries.
Yeah. So these are going to be fun ones. I'm looking forward to it. And you know that.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and these for documentaries, not docu-series, right? Not like it matters, but
You know, I consider that, but I think a docu-series is just an extended documentary.
I didn't
Right.
pick any docu-series, but
I didn't either.
I could have had an endless list with this one, but
This was a tough one, and I really one of the documentaries on my list really got me into documentaries before I really understood that documentaries can be fun and interesting. And that was, well, let me give you the year. That was I think it was like 2005. So 15 years ago, I really started watching them. Now I look for them all the time, and the quirkier, the better. I
Yeah.
watched one today. It was 2 guys from a hair band, but it was just like a local hair band in 1986 in high school. They never went anywhere. They didn't do anything. And 2 of them were trying to get the band back together to make a go at being famous.
it's not Anvil.
It wasn't, no, because Anvil actually had somewhat of a career.
was this Boa? Is
Yeah,
that
it was. Well, dude, it's the scariest thing because the singer kind of looked like JP, and I'm like,
Oh.
that's JP. But they show the guy now, and somehow these two guys got all these hairband has-beens to be a part of the documentary, kind of training them and telling them what they need to do, what they should do.
that's cool?
It was, but they were getting upset at the 45-year-old that has like a life and a family and a job and
How dare he?
doesn't want to go on the road. They didn't even have any promises. They were just going to record a song, and it was very funny. But they had like who's who of 80s hair bands, and it was
What
kind
was
of
the
cool.
name of it? I will watch.
It was called Hair. Oh, shoot,
Hair today, gone tomorrow.
something like that. But
Okay.
it was HHAIR.
Okay, I'll check it.
Ah, son of a gun. Because I think you'd love it, Jay. But you know it's a cheap documentary when they do a rock doc, but they don't use any licensed music for it.
Of course.
And that's what this was. Like everybody was in it, but there was no
No
music.
Well, back in the Netflix DVD days, that's what all I watched was. So you remember you could play the queue, like you would line up the queue, so everything would show up like when you wanted it to.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law and I were obsessed with documentaries, and that's the only we connected on the other. So he's like, "Did you watch this one?" No. So okay, so we throw it in the queue, then you'd move it, shift it, everything, so it'd be there by Friday, so you could send it back out. But I probably watched every DVD documentary that they could, and then they stopped shipping DVDs out.
Wow.
I used to
that
watch
was-
stuff all the time, Gabe. Tell you about documentary. I love documentaries.
I realize that I have not watched enough documentaries, and I love them. My favorite are rock docs, totally
Yeah.
straight up. And in fact, that's what I want to do. My second career, I want to just make rock docs because I really enjoy editing, and
Yeah.
I love bands and I love talking music with everybody. So that's what I want to do. Is I just want to make rock docs.
about him.
What's that?
Talk to my son Dan. He's watched like every rock doc. Like he's obsessed with them.
Okay. I will do.
I
You don't,
can't find the name of the show.
I
Huh? Sorry.
I always tell you
I'll get it to you later.
it's okay. You don't have to look for it.
But
right
I
now.
just watched it. That's the state of my life right now, is that I can't remember a goddamn thing I did 2 minutes ago.
Right, but I remember what I did back in fourth grade. And
That's
I-
true. I can remember high school like it was
done that.
yesterday.
You still shop?
Huh?
I've lost my ability to shop. Like
I don't care for it.
no, I go to Home Depot. I got my mask on, and I go in, and I have a plan, and then I just find myself kind of just like staring at
One.
stuff, and maybe I need that today, and then it's 3 hours later. I haven't left the store. I don't have anything I need. Barbara laughed. She's like, "How was it?" I go, "It was horrible. I don't know why I went."
Barbie has to come and collect you from aisle 5. Like,
I
where's
took her with me today so I could get out in 5 minutes. 'Cause if I don't, maybe I need that. Like
yeah?
I don't know what it does.
Think of all the projects that you.
And then
could
I
do.
try to figure out. I swear I know everybody now with the mask on, so I'm playing like I know that guy. And
I hate the mask because I hate masks and I hate sunglasses because I can't recognize people.
Well,
Either or.
it sucks because I'm starting to put masks and sunglasses together incorrectly. Like I'm wearing a mask and I think that I'm wearing sunglasses. So it's just like someone says something, I roll my eyes. I'm like, oh wait, I'm not wearing sunglasses.
See, I'm intimidating. So it's sad you took my smile away because that usually kept people from being afraid of me.
Well, that's why I like the people that have the smiles
Hey, Jimmy.
on their actual masks.
Jimmy got it. Here I go again. That's the name of the documentary.
Cool. I will check it out.
Jimmy's got great cornhole boards, by the way.
Yes, he does.
He not just cornhole boards, but he's quite the woodsmith. Is it a woodsmith or am I
Yeah.
thinking wordsmith?
No,
Woodsmith, right? Yeah.
Woodworker.
Yeah.
He wants me to photograph some of his stuff.
Nice.
He's got wood.
I got a strange text from Jimmy last night.
Another
When I
one.
was at
Oh.
Home Depot, roaming around, I get a text from Jimmy. Is your drone over my house?
No, that was the government.
not me.
Careful.
Jimmy.
How legal are those cornhole boards you're making?
I don't. It wasn't me. I was lost at Home Depot.
Mike, what's up?
The crazy guy. Is
Hey,
that a
crazy.
documentary?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, is it? I thought he was talking about us.
No, we're not that crazy.
No.
I try.
We're silly. I don't know about
All right.
crazy. Okay. Let's do this.
Who's
Sure.
going?
Hold on. Let me check one more comment here.
Okay.
Oh, he's doing mostly cornhole boards. He sent me a few pictures today. They're great. I mean, and I think with the summer the way it's going to be, you might as well get some boards for your backyard because you're not going anywhere.
Nope.
Hard to run back and forth though when you're playing by yourself.
You got to get some friends too. But for the family maybe. And this is a whole big commercial for Jimmy here. No decals or stickers. It's all like painted on.
Yeah, no, it's custom.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. So Jay, you want to go first?
Sure.
Let me find yours. Now you only okay.
Because
I'm sure you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
I got props for him. But yeah, I only have one real number one. The rest could be put in any order whatsoever. And this was the one that took me a little while to think about. But my number 5 is Searching for Sugar Man. If you have not checked out this one right here, it's about Sixto Rodriguez. He was a Detroit folk singer back in the 70s, and he was pretty popular. And he disappeared. He disappeared. And his music found its way into South America, and it got huge. I mean, it got like Beatles huge there. So Rodriguez was huge there. But when they researched him at all, they kept finding out that like there were so many stories that he committed suicide on stage. Oh. And this was and there was like different ones. Like one of the stories was that he took out a gun and he shot himself on stage after a performance. Another one was he doused himself in gasoline and lit himself on fire. None of these were true. He just kind of faded away. I don't want to give out too many spoilers because this is a good movie. But the crazy thing is that so everyone thought that he committed suicide when in actuality the director of this film committed suicide in 2014. So it's like, wow. Oh my God. So, this was a very uplifting movie too, though. He was
so far so good.
Well, no, that's the downer part right there that I found out after the fact. But it was really cool because they go and they find this guy and they take him down to South America and they show him that you're huge here, and they treat him like royalty. And he starts singing again, and he does a couple of tours. It's a really cool documentary. I don't know if you saw. I know you saw it, Tim.
I saw it.
You both saw it, so great documentary.
Great, yeah, it was.
And I actually sang Sugar Man at one of the socials too. Me and Matt did that song.
That's right. So we're not worried about spoilers, right? These are all kind of old.
I'm gonna try not to do anything like huge, but because like that one there, I gave away a couple bits and pieces. But it's the story. The story is so cool.
Yeah.
And the music's great. Now, I'm not even that big of a folk music guy, but I really dug his stuff.
Nice. Yeah, it was a good movie. I didn't care if they found him or not. Keep searching. I don't care.
Searching for Sugar Man. It was good.
Yeah, I like rock docs. I like documentaries about musicians that I don't know a lot about too. I like watching stuff that I don't know about.
I had never heard anything about it, and the thing that got to me was the song that was part of the trailer. I was like, oh, this is a cool song, and then I was like, oh, I got to watch the whole documentary, and it was really good. That was my number 5. Number 4, I got a prop right here. Let me see if I can make it. This is Elvira presents In Search of Darkness. Okay. So this focuses on nothing but 80s horror. And it goes like year by year by year. And obviously, Elvira is one of the main people that introduce this stuff. And I love Elvira in general. They just did this. This came out last year. And everyone knows how huge of a horror fan I am. So they basically go like 1980s. And then they show you like this huge panel of all these horror movies. And they try and hit like a lot. It's like 280 minutes. So they try and hit upon almost all these movies. They go through slashers and what do you got? From slashers to boogeymen to ghosts to demons. They go through the whole 3D aspect when that came back. They go into all the way up to 1989. December of '89. Super cool. Obviously, if you like Elvira in general, you like it. Tons of guest stars.
300-minute movie.
Well, wait a minute. What?
288 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's figure that out.
4 hours.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's like a docu-series.
Yeah, but it's just one movie. So it's like perfect to have just on in the background. It's just like, and you look up, oh, I know this movie. I want to hear more about that. So it just kept going, and I loved it because 80s horror is that's my jam, man. I loved it.
I watched one not too long ago, Jay. Slow down. I watched it. I watched another one the other day that was similar to that. It was about how there's no more action heroes left, and it was all about 80s action heroes and action movies. But it was just kind of the same deal. They just went through what made an action hero in the 80s, and it was just that decade, really.
No, that's awesome. And the guys who did this, I believe, are doing sci-fi right now. They're in the middle of making a sci-fi one. They're going to do the same thing, go 1980, 81, 82, and the whole way through. And it was just cool. Like, the only thing that sucks is when you're watching it and you see all these moves, and I'm like, oh, I love that movie. And they skip over it to the next one. You're like, no, I wanted them to talk about that one.
Did they have a lot of celebrities in it as well? People that were in those movies?
Tons of horror celebrities in it.
Horrors, too?
Horrors.
When the horrors come in.
Yes.
288 minutes. You got to have a lot of stuff.
And it does.
And horse. Yeah.
But honestly, I was never bored. It was always like, oh, what's going to happen next? So that was cool. I dug it. That was my number 4.
And number 3 and number 2.
No,
because it's so long
enough.
My number 3 is, I got this right here. This is Turtle Power. The definitive history
I saw that. Yeah.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As anyone knows, this is what got me into comic books back in the 80s. My dad used to take us down to Bop City Comics in Framingham. And I'd always, I read Spider-Man, I read X-Men, stuff like that. But it was the Turtles. I walked in there and I picked up a Turtles and I was like instantly hooked because it was grim, it was gritty. It was their take on Daredevil, which was super grim and gritty back then, but with Turtles. And they actually came up with such a great story. And everyone knows the story of Turtles. So this documentary is basically the rise and the fall, and then the rise and then the fall, and then they just kept going. It's like as soon as you almost stopped hearing about Turtles, they'd pop up again because you'd start off with the comic books. Then it went right into the cartoon, and it was like, oh my god. Then it went into the toys. The toys made them ridiculous money. I mean, serious crazy. And then from the cartoons and the toys came the movie that no one backed. No one thought it was going to do anything. So one little company, stuck with them through this. And then when it became like the hugest hit in the world, everyone came back and said, oh, we want to do a sequel. And they're like, I'll bet you do. But no, we're sticking with the guys that had faith in us. So this basically spans the entire, from the beginning, the inception of the Turtles, when Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman were just sitting in their little apartment, and they were just like, they were trying to one up each other. That's how Turtles came about. And they were like, oh, look at this. And he'd draw a turtle and be like, look at that. Here's a mutant ninja turtle. And he'd be like, oh, Teenage Mutant. And they just went back and forth. So this documentary, it's great because it focuses a lot on the 80s as well. And you can tell like all the hairstyles and everything. And you can see where they were going with the Turtles and how it went. Now, a great accompaniment to this is the Toys That Made Us. If you saw that on Netflix, they actually had a whole Turtles one where they actually have this huge reunion of Eastman and Laird at the end of it. Spoiler, but it's freaking touching as hell. You're like, they were in this documentary, but they hadn't gotten together and really just hung out with each other until the Toys That Made Us. And it really gave me all the feels. Love this. Love this.
One of them got kicked out of the duo, right? And lost out on some of the royalties.
So he
didn't want to go forward or something.
Yeah, it went back and forth. Eastman ended up giving Laird all the royalties and said, here, you can have it, because he was pretty sure that he was never going to do anything crazy with it. And then at a certain point in time, Nickelodeon came along and said, hey, we'd like to buy your property. So I believe they bought it off him for $60 million. Now, they turned around and turned that into like $400 million.
Yeah.
But Eastman didn't get a dime of that. I mean, not a penny. And you see that in the Toys That Made Us documentary as well. Again, whirlwind, though. I mean, they went from just a couple of guys in an apartment trying to get a comic book and to turn into, the biggest hit stars, out of nowhere. That was awesome. Great documentary.
In New Hampshire, by the way.
Yeah. Yep. They're local guys. So if you ever get a chance, definitely check out that Turtles. My number 2 is Atari Game Over. Love this documentary.
This was awesome.
It's a rise and fall of Atari, but the whole point of this is they're trying to find. There was an urban myth at the time that there was a landfill filled with ET games. Obviously, E.T. was one of the worst games that Atari ever put out. George Lucas, or was it Spielberg? I think Spielberg said it was great. This is great. Go ahead with it. And they were saying, this is the downfall of Atari. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. They just had declining sales. But at the end of it, they do dig up a landfill and something happens. Again, spoilers with this, but
I played the game. I had it and I played it. And horrible. I played it a lot, and it was still horrible.
Did you do well at it?
Did I what?
Did you do well at it? Because I remember the first time I fell in a hole, and the second time I fell
you can't get out of the hole.
And that was the only one that I thought was slightly better, but just as bad, was the Smurfs Adventure.
Game. Oh my God. You trip over
that freaking mushroom.
Thank God, the Smurfs game drives me crazy. I made Dan play the Smurfs game 2 years ago. Oh, that was the best experience of my life. It's like, this is stupid.
It is. But I remember I used to play the Smurfs game so much because I wanted to beat it. And it was like, once you finally get over this one stupid mushroom, then it was like, that's 2 more mushrooms, son of a bitch.
It wasn't even a mushroom. It's just a blade of grass.
Whatever it was.
You're a Smurf. Just walk through it.
It was cool. It was cool seeing just the history of the Atari games too, because growing up, if you had seen Ready Player One, that holds a lot of that nostalgia in it as well. Atari, which was the first time that I had ever found a secret room in a game in Adventure. I remember hearing, your friends talk about it, and you find the secret room, and you find the actual name of the person there. I'm like, this is amazing. And really not, but it was amazing to a kid back then.
Well, it was the first. They say it's the first Easter egg.
Yep.
Ever created for video games.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Before you announce your number one, I purposely did not pick a certain documentary that I am waiting to be on your list.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't think it would be your number one.
This isn't gonna. You're not gonna pick this one, Tim.
Oh.
I'm surprised. This should be an easy one. Everyone that knows me, for Docs at least.
Well, that's why
do you want to say it, Tim?
Well, the one I wanted to see him talk.
What you think it's going to be? Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be it now. But I wanted the V66 documentary.
Oh my God! I forgot about the V66 documentary. Holy crap! That is.
I didn't pick it because I figured it'd be on your list.
Man, only reason why is because I forgot. That's mine, isn't it, Ray?
It is. That's why he hasn't.
I watched his.
Forgot about it.
He gave me to watch, and I gave it to Ray to watch.
Yeah.
That documentary is awesome.
Absolutely love it, and it's honestly, it's my brain. I forget stuff all the time, and yes, that should have been on my list. I don't know. I guess I would bump. I'd bump Elvira for that easily.
Would you really? Wow.
Yeah, because
I wish I was around more and paid more attention to V66. I did not pay enough attention to it.
I loved V66.
Because we didn't, you got to remember, well, me and Hop.
I didn't have MTV.
We didn't have MTV or cable in general. So,
well, we didn't either.
So as soon as we got, V66, now in my mind, I swear it was on for years. It was only on for like a year.
Right.
That's what's so amazing about that documentary. It's how much stuff happened in such a short period of time.
And they were
took up all of my teenage years. I swear V66 was part of me for 10 years.
I mean, before Kurt Loder and all those guys, I was watching everything that was on MTV. I remember, and it had such cool things going on where they're like, MTV is calling us saying you're not allowed to play that video because we got exclusive. And then V66 would call up Def Leppard, and Def Leppard would be like, "No, play our video. What the hell's wrong with you? We want everyone to play this video." Man,
but you know what? I was playing too much ET during this era. I think
stuck in a hole.
I was stuck in a hole.
So my actual number one is Decline of Western Civilization, Part 2, The Metal Years. So that pick to the right there, or the left to you, that is actually Chris Holmes of Wasp, one of the best scenes of the movie, where he is just getting shattered in his pool and
with his mom.
With his mom. And fun fact, I don't know if you got that or not, Tim. Do you got a fun fact right there?
No.
All right. Fun fact, though, he is downing a bottle of vodka, and it turns out that this kind of hurts it, but it turns out it was not vodka, because the amount of vodka he drank out of that bottle would have killed someone. It was actually pool water.
Pool water, yeah.
I found that out. But Decline of Western Civilization, I remember. Thank you.
Sorry.
I remember the first time I watched that, and I mean the only thing I can relate it to was Spinal Tap. in which I almost put that for my number one as well, because I'm like, it was a mockumentary, it wasn't a documentary, but it was still up there.
Not Spinal Tap.
Right. But I mean, this one, it had everyone, all the people from the 80s. It had, Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, Alice Cooper, Gene and Paul from Kiss, Lemmy, Ozzy sitting there during the entire thing. They keep cutting to him, and he's just making eggs the entire time they're interviewing him. He's just making eggs throughout the entire documentary, and it's a good long documentary. They follow a bunch of the bands. It's all taking place in the LA scene. That was basically they wanted to make sure you saw what was going on the LA scene. And these people were just maniacs, and they were living exactly how you wanted them to. They were rock stars. They were insane rock stars. Just women, drugs, sex, fast cars, everything. It's funny. This is my Thailand bootleg that I got years ago because I couldn't find the regular one. Everything's in Thai. But this is my bootleg copy. And then lo and behold, you go on Tubi, and they have actually the Decline of the Western Civilization part 1, 2, and 3 on there. I had seen one way back in the day. That's actually all about punk rock, which, fun fact, one of the bands in that called Fear, the lead singer is Lee Ving, who was Mr. Body in Clue. So he was in a huge punk band called Fear, and they were awesome. If you ever checked out Fear, they're fantastic. So, and then they had part 3, which was, it just focused on the punk kids. It was like the punk movement, but it followed around a bunch of gutter punk kids and what they had to do to try and survive in LA, being punks that they were. All 3 were really good documentaries, but the metal years, watch it. You'll love it. If you love 80s rock and roll, metal, hair metal, watch this. You're laughing.
Did you see any Pixie Sticks or anything today? Did you just down sugar?
Why? No. I'm
Tune
always
in next week when Tim and Ray talk about their documentaries.
Sorry.
I saw that for the first time a couple months ago. I was surprised I waited that long because I'm a product of the 80s.
I watched it because Jay recommended it many years ago, and it's awesome.
It's awesome, and there's no redeeming qualities whatsoever. I keep waiting for there to be a positive message in that movie.
There's no message.
Nothing.
No, but that's why I love it, because it's exactly what you wanted. You're like, I don't want my rock and roll stars to be like, and we're giving all our money to charity. No,
Right.
There's no voiceover at the end saying they made such a difference to the world.
And Penelope Spheris, I think. I don't know if they pronounce her name that way. She was the director of Wayne's World. That was one of her first movies, I think.
That's her first film, yeah.
First one, yeah. And it's not shot very well either, really.
I mean, no. I mean, it's
not
like
winning any awards.
But it's shot
for
perfectly
cinematography.
for what it is.
Yes. It's very dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, they lived to excess. That was awesome.
And that's
All
my
right,
top
Tim.
five.
Okay,
Jeez,
I
top
got you.
5. Go, Tim.
All right, Tim. So what do I do here, Jay?
Right now, you're going to just start putting up pictures, and Tim is
Okay.
going to talk about those pictures.
Why'd you ask
Okay.
Jay what to do? Damn it, that's my first one.
Ah. I did this to him last week too.
It did really. It's the American movie.
You
So
said just
I know.
every week,
I
just
didn't.
throw him up.
I didn't specify. This is on me. It's my bad. But in my head, I'm like, he won't do it first, and then it just worked out that way. So that's.
Okay.
Have you seen the American movie?
I haven't. I looked it up. It's not for rent anywhere.
So 2 nights ago, I tried to watch it so I could talk more about it because it'd be my number one. If I had to have a number one, it's my number one. It's my favorite
Really?
of all time. Yes.
And you just saw it.
No. I saw it
Oh.
in 1999, and I've seen it many times. But then I went to see it. I'm like, so I started ranting last night because we are living in 2020, and I cannot watch this movie anywhere. But it shows up in streaming services. And
Oh, you can't. Yeah, I tried looking for it. It was non-rentable.
It's not
Yeah.
available. It's not available
But
anywhere.
it's there.
It's there. That's what makes it worse. Like, you
Yeah.
can find it, but you can't click to watch it. So on every channel I could find it, you can't do it. So I'm like, well, I'll go buy the DVD. DVD's not available.
Really?
Yep. So there's a version of it on YouTube that is it's messed up. It doesn't sound right, and so I'm very disgusted. But Jay, have you seen it? I asked you, I think last night.
No,
Jay, you would love this. So this kid, go back to
eventually I'll watch it.
so the tall, yeah, I'll have to reenact it. That's the only way to see it. The tall kid is Mark,
And he's friends with Ron Jeremy's little brother.
He's friends with Ron Jeremy's little brother. He's unemployed. He always wanted to make this movie, so he started making this. He had this idea for I think he pronounced it Coven, but it's supposed to be Coven, and he wants to make this horror movie, and he's like, nobody's going to go see a movie named Coven, so he's filming the movie, and then his friend is filming him filming the movie. And
wait a minute, did this end up being one of those green light shows with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck? Remember they produced that show where a movie got greenlit? That was the original, right?
No, that wasn't the original.
Wow.
Okay, so I have seen this. He's making a horror movie, and there was one actor in it. I can't remember who they got, but they had like a familiar face, I think.
Towards the end, there was a familiar, but it's a horrible movie he's making. It's absolutely horrible movie. But the documentary is incredible.
Cool.
But nobody can watch it. So unless you're the guy that's in it, and maybe you have a copy of it. So
there's got to be some kind of like copyright issue.
You have never seen my wife so happy. I spent 30, 40 minutes Friday night trying to find this movie to watch, and she's sitting on the couch. What are you doing? I'm like, I just want to watch this. I want to be able to talk about it. Like Jay's so passionate about his movies. I want to be passionate about it, so I'm going to watch it. So it's fresh in my mind. And I went through every streaming service on the planet, and I couldn't use it. She's like, oh, I guess we're not going to watch it. She had no desire to watch it. She was so pissed. She would have hated it. I showed her the trailer, and she's like, no, I don't want to watch that. But
isn't that the worst when you really want to share something you love with someone and they just have no interest?
No,
you're so excited though to share, because a lot of these documentaries are so good. You want to share them with people like we're doing right now. And you would expect a little bit more at home. Like, oh, you love something that much. I would like to give you the respect of watching that with you.
I'm going to be 100% honest. I know she would hate it. And I was getting pleasure out of the idea that she would have to watch it.
Okay.
Because I have watched some horrible crap during this quarantine.
Me too.
Yeah. Because of my wife, though.
Yeah.
All right. Just randomly pick another one because now I don't care. This one's just awesome. This is the newest one on my list. This came out last year. It's Andre the Giant. But an HBO documentary one is always good, no matter what the topic is. And this one's just awesome. It touches on everything, from him starting wrestling Japan to his death, and then Princess Bride. The actors from Princess Bride are in it, so he was just a sweet guy.
He was beloved by all.
Everybody loved him,
and a gentle giant.
And the documentary is so well produced.
And he could drink so much beer.
A lot of beer. Yeah. They talk about that a lot.
What's physical media?
I can't buy it. Daniel.
DVD.
I can't buy the DVD.
It was already addressed.
I'm trying to find it on eBay. But I'm no longer interested. So
too late.
All right, what's next?
Is that all you have to say about that?
Yeah, Andre the Giant's pretty self-explanatory. If you like wrestling, go watch Andre the Man on the Wire. Has either of you two seen this movie?
I have seen this, and it's fascinating.
It is unbelievable. And it's more unbelievable because of everything that's happened with 9/11, because it's such an in-depth look of the Twin Towers. Then the fact, the security, everything that goes on just to get what this. So this French guy, I believe he's French, comes over through Canada, and then he's going to high wire across between the two towers. And I think it was in the 80s.
Yeah, it was very intricate too, what they had to do to prepare. And they made a real movie out of it.
It's almost like Ocean's 11 type of stuff.
Yeah, it was.
They blueprinted everything. And I saw the documentary, and then I saw the movie that they made about it. And
it was good.
I like the documentary better.
Yeah. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was I think he was a little too much in that role.
But yeah.
And nobody likes French people, so I don't know.
Oh no, that's not true.
Is that not true?
No, that's not true. French people.
I'm French Canadian. I could say that.
I'm Irish, so I don't want to hear.
Don't say anything about my people.
I didn't. You did.
I can.
I'm defending your people. Just because I'm on a public access thing here. What was that? That wasn't my movie.
No, it wasn't.
I'm Italian.
Nobody asked you.
Sorry.
That's the thing about you Italians. You won't shut up.
Look at us. Look, we represent pretty well here.
All right. That's a great one, too.
King of Kong is probably the documentary that got me into documentaries.
I just love how serious these guys were.
He is such a mess. So my favorite scene of this movie is What's his name? I have it here in my notes.
Oh, Tim's got notes this week.
I took notes. Yeah. So the Twin Galaxies is the whole thing. But what's the guy's name? Why?
I don't remember.
Mitchell,
Sure.
right? Billy Mitchell. And but the best scenes in it, because he's never paying attention to anything that's going on. He's completely oblivious. He's all about him. And so they're interviewing him in the back kitchen, I think, because he worked at a restaurant and he had the chili sauce or something else. He was making other stuff. And he's sitting there, he's stroking his tie, and he's like, so you guys know what my 3 call letters are, right? When I win at, like, no, what is? Well, you can tell because of my tie, which is just, let's just say it's a black and white tie, little USA, but your tie's black and white. Oh, I had the American flag tie. Like, that was yesterday. So I went to his arcade.
Yeah.
He has an arcade in the airport in Orlando.
Okay.
Called King of Kong.
Oh, really?
Yep. Went in. There is no Donkey Kong. There was nobody in the arcade. I was there in between flights back in like 2002. Kid is on the phone that's still hitched to the wall. I just remember the kid, and the kid's just watching me, and I'm looking around like, I just want to play Donkey Kong in here. That's all I want to do. And I go, Donkey Kong. And he's like, oh no, because you know that every day he's asked.
Why would you not have a Donkey Kong in King of Kong, where Donkey Kong is the main character of the documentary?
You watch the movie, you know that Billy Mitchell is not the brightest person on the planet.
He doesn't want anybody beating his score either. So imagine if he walked into his own place of business and USA was not ranked number 1.
So
that wouldn't be good.
So he got the best high score in Donkey Kong and Pac-Man, I believe, like a couple different games. When he was a teenager, he was on the cover of Time magazine or Life magazine as one of the whiz kids of video games back in the early 80s. He
when
was
it meant something.
Yeah, and then he kept that record. And then the poor guy in Seattle who lost his job and he had the baby, he's like, well, I got nothing to do. I'm laid off, so I'm gonna buy a video game machine and I'm gonna get really good at it. And so he got really good at Donkey Kong. And there's a scene when the guy's playing Donkey Kong in his garage, and you hear his 3-year-old or 2-year-old go, Daddy, I pooed my diaper. He's like, yeah, you got to hold on. He had to videotape it to submit it to Twin Galaxy to get the high score. And that is, the kid is screaming, I went poo in my diaper. It's like, yeah, I'm playing. And he sends that tape in and wins. Like, it's a great documentary.
Do you remember the TV show Starcade, where kids would come on and they'd all play video games, and whoever got the high score could win the video game? That was a great one.
Were you on it?
No, I wish.
That would be awesome.
I know, right?
I remember taking photos of like a screenshot. If you got a high score in like asteroids, they wanted you to take a picture and send it in for something.
So a lot of the footage is from Winnipesaukee up in
we've been there.
Yeah,
I know they rig those games too, because a quarter doesn't get you that far in those games.
Oh, the kill screen's coming up. Everybody, this guy's blocking a kill screen. Kill screen's coming up. Anybody wants to see a kill screen? The end of Pac-Man.
There's another documentary about a game called Snake or something, and it's the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
I love how the guy, after like 36 hours, just kind of walks away at the conference. It's like, I'm done. I'm not going to beat this guy. All right, one more.
I don't know.
This one scares me.
Have
this
you
is
seen
so
it?
wrong. Yes, it disturbs me. It's one of the most disturbing acts of mankind. You don't just throw your hand in a hole when you don't really know what's in that hole.
These are special people.
Yeah.
These are I've watched this movie. I watched this movie twice, sitting in the same chair. I stopped it when it was over, and I played it again.
Jay, do you know about this?
Never heard
you know
of it.
about noodling? So some idiot will just jump into a stream, shove his hand into rocks,
move it around until they get bit by a catfish, grab it, and then pull the catfish out.
What? Yeah. I'm just thinking about it.
Comes up to here, and they're like, "I got the fish." It's called noodling. So they're real fishermen. They'll tell you they're real fishermen because they don't use oars and worms. They got their fingers. And so
I gotta watch it.
This documentary is all about this culture, and there's just a whole bunch of friends, and they're men, women, all ages, and they just go and that's the good mud spot, and they put their arm down in, and they get bit, and they bring the catfish out. And there's one, I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm paraphrasing here, but this town is it's not a good town. Like, there's a lot of economic opportunity. Let's just say to fix this area, and the roads are all messed up because the river came through and flooded out the whole thing. And they're interviewing the guy, and I don't know who he is, but he's walking through because this is my favorite place to fish for the catfish, and this is where me and just say Billy used to fish all the time. And then he's like, Billy went down there once to get the catfish. I miss Billy. Like,
Jesus.
and the guy goes, what happened to Billy? Never came back.
Jesus.
It's like, oh, so Billy's dead? Like, it's such a messed up movie. But it's highly entertaining.
I'll watch that.
Okay.
Oh,
You sold me.
very special people indeed.
Yeah.
Those were your 5.
I got so many comments right now that I'm not saying. Anyway, yeah.
Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, I'll do mine. I have no particular order here,
Good. Show the one you want first then.
so I'm not going to get shocked by something that pops up. This is the one. I think everything I saw before this one was all like straightforward, serious documentaries, and then this one came out, My Date with Drew in 2005, where this guy Brian Hetzlinger just had a crush on his favorite celebrity, Drew Barrymore. So he started making a documentary about how he was going to win a date with Drew Barrymore. So the documentary is just about him calling her up, calling the agent, staging this, staging that, trying to get into parties that she's in, getting notes to her. And I won't tell you the end, but yeah, does he get the date? I don't know. I won't tell you, but it's just fascinating. It's just this everyday guy grabbed a camera and said, I'm going to get me a date with Drew. And with my other show, I tried to get celebrities on, and I ended up with half of a celebrity the other night.
That's more than half of a celebrity.
I know. I'm being humble, I guess. I don't know. But I
insulting to the half of celebrities. And this
I
is
heard
how
it.
you're not going to get more celebrities. Like that.
he's not paying attention.
He doesn't watch the show too.
No.
Bring him
But it
in.
was just so yeah. He pops up. But yeah, I get that. I get the whole, hey, those are just people. I could probably meet them if I try hard enough. And that was the hour and a half, him trying to meet and go on one date with Drew Barrymore.
I'm not a huge Drew Barrymore fan, but
I'm not either.
If you go back to that picture is gorgeous. Like that's.
I think there was like a moment where she was like that, right?
I don't hate her or anything. I'm just not a big fan because she ruined E.T.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought I loved her in E.T.
I hate E.T. That's all.
Oh, okay.
That's our
I think
thing.
Yeah, I didn't know you hated it though. I didn't know it was a hate thing.
It's a lovely story about a boy and his dog.
She's a
Sports
fire
movie.
starter, man. She's awesome.
Firestarter was great.
Yeah, I like her in the Adam Sandler movies. I think they make a good duo.
When that documentary come out?
2005.
I'll have to check it out. I never heard it.
They're not married or anything. So
That's right around Charlie's Angels time, I think.
Was it? Yeah. She was probably at the height of her career back then. What's next on my list? I'm going to try to go in order of what I wrote down. This one, Jay, you'd love this one. I don't know
I've
if you've
seen it. Love it. Absolutely
Yeah.
love it.
Quiet Riot. Well, now you're here. There's no way back. It's probably the dumbest name of any documentary. You could have just kept with Quiet Riot or Not So Quiet Riot. I don't know. So this follows Frankie Banali trying to put the band back together after Kevin DeBro dies. Years after he dies. So when did he die? He died like in the 80s, right?
No,
he didn't make it. So
early 2000s.
Okay. So Quiet Riot had their run, but they didn't last too long after their heyday, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they went out and did a few things here and there. There were no Def Leppard or anything like that.
No.
But you're right. Kevin DeBrow died of, I think it was like he decided to go out and do cocaine once. It was just like one snort, and it killed him.
It was mid 2000s, and he died from cancer.
Oh, okay. Well, then I was watching the wrong documentary.
And the reason why I know that is just because I saw him a year before at the Paradise. And it's funny because Fitzy's band at the time, I think it was Drinkfist, opened up for him. And I was like, and it was awesome. He was fantastic. He was just doing solo, but he did lots of Quiet Riot songs, obviously.
It says here, cause of death, cocaine.
Really?
Yeah.
I know he had cancer though.
Well, it could have both killed him.
Oh,
both
weird.
those things.
Cause of death, cocaine overdose. Date of death, November 19th, 2007.
2007, yeah.
Okay, so maybe
So,
he was
okay,
a cancer survivor then, in general.
yeah.
But
So
no,
Frankie wants to go back out. He wants to keep the band going. So he's got to find, another singer. And Frankie is so serious in this thing. Now, you can't take what you're doing too seriously when you're in that position because they're playing like the third stage of a music festival out in the Midwest. And they're playing at 3 p.m. But it's like, get that song right, mother effer. Interesting movie. I liked it because, quite right.
fun fact: how many people were in the band? 37.
That's right. Yeah, they had a lot. And I
37
think they went through that.
37.
He was dead for 6 days before anybody found him.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh. All right. Sorry, I'm chewing ice. That's so unprofessional. Number 3. And there's 2 documentaries about this subject that came out at the same time.
Oh,
Fire and Fire Fraud.
One's really good.
Which one?
One's really good. I
Netflix.
didn't like-
Yeah, I can't remember which was
Netflix.
better. I was it okay.
Which one's the good
yeah,
one?
The one on the left is Fire. The other one's Fire
I
Fraud.
think Fire is the good one.
It is.
Okay.
Netflix is the good one. Just because
Yeah.
I don't have Hulu, so I've never seen Fire Fraud.
I tend to watch things first on Netflix. So I think you're right, Jay. And then I watch Fire Fraud. I'm like, more of the same stuff. But I think they focused more on the guy, what's his name, Billy McFarland.
Fire
And
Fraud is GoBots, and Fire is Transformers.
Yeah, pretty much. So the deal was, there's a big festival in 2017 that this guy Billy was putting on, kind of a scammer. He had Ja Rule as the spokesman. And before they even spent a dime or even booked anything or had any plans, they started making videos with all these hype girls. They went to a beach and they're like, you want to hang out with these girls? Do you want to hang out on this boat? We're on a boat. We're on a boat. And they just filmed like beautiful people dancing around, running around, and they had no idea. And they started taking money from people. You're gonna live like this for a week. And they promised like villas for this package. You could stay in a villa and you're going to be able to hear this band and that band. And I think they were promising bigger bands. And the final lineup just included Blink-182. That was the only like big name in the group. And when the people showed up on the boat, they were quickly directed towards a field where they could camp out in a tent. But wait a minute, where's my villa on the beach? Close enough. They didn't have food. I don't think they had running water. I think that was an issue
There was no
too.
water. There was no toilets. There was
It
nothing.
changed from an island to actually a jetty because they couldn't get the actual
Right.
island.
And then it was a parking lot, wasn't it?
It was closed too when they pulled back. Yeah.
It was a parking lot by the airport.
I
And
love this series so much.
Right? It's such a mess. And the guy hardly apologized after. He went on to do more schemes.
Yes.
He's still doing them, yeah.
He just
Yeah.
moved on. He's like, let's move on. This one didn't work.
Did he
Let's
go to
keep going.
jail?
I don't think he did. I think it was just
poor,
a slap
the poor
on the
guy.
wrist.
The most disturbing part of the whole thing is the guy that will do anything for
Water.
for water.
We need that
That's
water. He was going to suck that guy's something or other or to get the
Everybody needs
water.
everybody needs a friend that good.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Fire was the better. the
Fire
better
was
one.
better.
Netflix did a better job. But that was fun. That was such a fun movie. Just to see the face of these idiots that spent like 10 grand to go party with Ja Rule. It's not going to happen. It's like when
It's
you get
nice to see rich kids get scammed.
That's what I was enjoying.
It was a great dream, though. I mean, if I was a young rich kid, I could imagine being like, yes, of course, everything you're telling me, I want to do right now. I also want your credit card, your gold platinum credit card, because that was one of his first scams. Was the platinum card that he would give you ridiculous amounts, and he just kept taking money from money and giving it out. And then eventually, there was no money left, and he just, we're
And
done.
they're
With
like, everybody go over there and grab a mattress. That was
There's 1,000 of you, and we have 400 mattresses. And go.
go. Yeah.
and it rained, so all the mattresses were wet.
And nobody on the island, none of the workers got paid.
No,
the
those people got
vendors.
screwed. It
Nobody got
destroyed
paid.
the whole economy of the place.
the greatest thing about it was it just every single episode it just got bigger and badder and badder. It was just like that dumpster fire. It was 2020. That's what
it was a dumpster fire. Yeah. The Fire Festival should have happened this year.
Yeah,
it would have made so much more sense. Yeah.
All right, moving on. This is a brand new one on Netflix. Have a Good Trip. I think I recommend. You saw this, Tim, didn't you?
I watched it the day you recommended it. It was really good.
Okay. I don't do drugs. I don't. I don't partake in psychedelics. But this really changed my mind on the benefits and the hilarity that ensues, but it also tells you about some of the bad stuff that comes with doing psychedelics. And I think what I loved about this documentary, it was just a straightforward look, these are some of the things that can open your mind. If you're an artist, it can expand your mind, bring in new ideas. Sting had a lot to say about it. I was really impressed with his take on it. He really did. I mean,
the documentary.
The man, I think, created his talents and his art through psychedelics. Yeah. He travels to places to go on trips. He goes on a trip to take a trip.
Then you get Sarah Silverman's like, I did it once.
Right. Yeah. There were some bad stories.
It's some bad. And I highly recommend everybody does it once, but I did it once.
Didn't Sting master tantric sex or something like that? Isn't he like the guru god of tantric sex? He can orgasm for like 3 days.
That's something, yeah. That's another documentary. Ben Stiller talks a little bit about it, but he had no business doing it.
No. And then he called his dad. That's the best scene in the whole thing.
His dad was cool about it.
His dad's like, I'm on something, Dad. All right, well, just got to wait it out. I'm going to party.
Nick Offerman's in it. David Cross, Will Forte, Thomas Lennon, Carrie Fisher. That was a cool story. Yep. Anthony Bourdain had a great story as well. It opened my eyes. I'm like, okay, really good. You have to be in the right state of mind, they tell you. Don't go into this with a bad attitude or bad thoughts, because that's where you have the bad trip.
But it was the whole thing on like, don't believe all the bad hype and everything either. Like it's like you've been lied to, and like you got to experience things for yourself. So, but
it was madness. I'm
glad you recommended it. It was really good.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's a fun watch because you recognize a lot of the people and the stories are just interesting. It's just
it's on Netflix.
Yeah. So I liked that one. And you know what? It changed my mind on it. And maybe someday I'll go out to Joshua Tree and get lost.
Joshua Tree burnt down, but that's
where do I go then? The T, maybe? That's close.
He's closed.
Okay. Am I done? No, I got
at least I think that was 4.
Okay, I got one more. I like rock docs, and I didn't know anything about Ginger Baker from Cream. But this is an amazing look at a rock star. This guy is an asshole, for one thing. He's one of the greatest. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. He's one of the most well-respected and recognizable drummers of all time, Ginger Baker from Cream. So this guy decides he wants to do a documentary on him, goes and finds him. I think he was in South Africa, and Ginger wants nothing to do with it. He's like, all right, people know my story. I don't need to do my story. And at one point, he ends up slapping the guy making the documentary. So it gets physical and ugly. So the whole documentary is just about his life as a drummer and how he ruined everything with his bandmates, and then went on to another band and ruined everything there, and then became part of a drum circle, and everyone hated him there. And he ended up just alone, living on his own in South Africa. You looking that up?
No, I wanted to add something later. I'm sorry.
Me too.
So yeah, I love that documentary, and I guess everything ended peacefully, but the guy making the documentary did get punched and threatened a lot by Ginger Baker. He's just this crusty old man. I think he died recently. Did he die? I don't know if he died.
I thought he died.
Maybe I shouldn't speak poorly. I mean, this came out. When did this come out? 2012. So it's a little bit older. Beware of Mr. Baker. It's a fun movie about a musician.
I'll check it out.
I have one runner up that I completely forgot about, and when you were talking about that, I had to bring this one up. Hired Gun. If you haven't seen Hired Gun, oh my God, it is so good. You get to find out the inside out of being a hired gun, which is basically, when you're playing in a band, but you have no idea if tomorrow you're going to be playing in that band anymore. and
Yep.
the difference between being the hired gun or just being in the actual band. And let me tell you something, you find out the assholes like Billy Joel are out there, and the
yeah.
awesome people like Alice Cooper are out there, and you get to see the difference between the two. And my God, Billy Joel, what an ass!
Well,
I
his
know
band.
that, the motorcycle show. Remember, he was a jerk on that.
Yep.
Who was Billy
what's-
Joel?
Remember what was the docuseries with the guy? What the like American Chopper?
Oh, he was on that. I never watched.
Oh,
that
Billy
show.
Joel had a 2-part episode where he does not come across looking very good.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
No, this
His-
is supposed to be a nice celebrity fluff thing. Hey, we're making a nice motorcycle for you, and like he's like, you're doing it wrong. Like he's chewing them out.
Yeah, Billy Joel must be a very lonely man because he started with like 10 people in his band, and they were all like brothers, and they all came from the same place, and
Now it's just
they
him.
all like contributed to the music. You know, like that. I had this going at the beginning. Billy wanted to do something real soft and stupid, and it's like one of the biggest riffs that you can imagine from an old Billy Joel song, and it came from someone else. Then that guy gets kicked out of the band.
He got rid of all of them and then said, people don't care about you. They just want to see Billy Joel. And the sad part was he was right.
He made it fun, yeah.
You know who's like that? John Bon Jovi. I hear it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all about
He's
John
the-
Bon Jovi.
The documentary of the Bon Jovi made me so angry at that band. The HBO did a documentary on him.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's such a like punch the clock type of thing. Everybody has to punch the clock. Like nobody's the band. It's John Bon
Right.
Jovi. It's a business. The
Yep.
business is Bon Jovi. Like you can see why Richie's like, I'm out of here. Like this is ridiculous. And there's like, I'll just replace him with another guy that looks like you. Billy Joel has- anyways. So I need your help because when I was searching for the American movie that I couldn't find the other night, I came across a documentary that I saved to a queue and I can't remember what it is. He was one of the hosts of the Muppets. He was huge in the 70s. He wrote songs, really short guy.
Paul. Yeah, he wrote the Muppet movie
Yeah.
soundtrack.
So there's
Paul,
a documentary on him.
where's Paul Williams? or
Yes.
something?
Have you seen the documentary?
It's great because
I
he's a
watched-
crusty old guy too.
Yeah, he's angry. I watched the trailer and it looks brilliant. I got to watch that.
Oh,
Just
good.
a
It's real good.
fashion love song. He does that
Yeah,
one,
you-
right?
How
He
many
did that on
songs that you know from him?
I keep saying Andy Williams, and Barbara's like, it's not Andy Williams. Like,
Paul.
it's Paul.
Going back, Brian, what's his name? Wilson. He was on a lot of drugs when he wrote a lot of his stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Line
Pet
and
Sounds.
Bed.
The whole album,
Just
Pet
like
Sounds,
Aaron
was
Wilson did.
Pet Sounds. Without drugs, there is no Pet Sounds, which is probably one of the best albums ever made.
Right. All right. Well, that was fun. We had a lot to say about those.
Some of us did, yeah.
Sorry.
I had so many.
I'm
more.
just joking, Jay. Yeah, just joking. Without you, there's no content. So
You
there's
know what it was, Jay? I think we wanted to be a part of it. That's all.
Yeah.
You were so excited. We wanted to be let in.
just
and-
picture you hiding
Couldn't find
there.
Couldn't get in.
One of your descriptions of the documentary is probably longer than the documentary. So that's
And that's the 300-minute one.
that's the 300-minute one.
Jay, did you know this? I didn't know that. Of course, Daniel knew it.
No, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
And he looks like a penguin.
He does.
He does.
So maybe that's why they had him.
But that trailer, it's a fairly recent movie. It's only a couple of years old.
Yeah, no, it's good. I really liked it. He's, you know what? He's a crusty old man, but he's your uncle. You know what I mean? Like you can see past it. There were so many movies. I was going through the list, going, that should be on. That should be on. And most of your movies, I really enjoyed too. It's tough. It's tough to do the 5.
I didn't pick any rock docs. Like the Journey documentary is awesome
Oh, yeah.
with how they get Ariel. Oh, that's his name, right? Yeah.
Paul Williams is still alive. I know that.
Oh no,
Okay.
You're not excited, but
Is he still alive? Yeah, he is alive.
he was
Well,
alive at least 3 years ago when they made the documentary.
Paul Williams was in Smokey and the Bandit.
Yes, he was in
he was
Smoking
Junior.
Yeah.
No, not Junior. He was what's his name? Not Junior. What the hell was his name?
Well, he was the guy's son.
Yeah, I know, but
Wasn't it Junior? You called him Junior, didn't he?
no.
No,
Junior was
little something.
yeah.
Big Enos and Little Enos or something.
There you go. I was just waiting for Daniel to tell us. To be honest with you.
Paul Williams is also in Battle of the Planet of the
He
Apes.
was in Battle of Plants, and he went on to Johnny Carson's show dressed like the character from Planet of the Apes. Yeah. And Johnny's like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "I just let myself go." Like, it was,
You know what's funny too? Paul Williams, Andy
you
Williams.
were gonna say Andy Williams too, yeah.
Paul Williams lived like a rock star, but he was only like 5'2", and he wasn't a very attractive guy.
No, he had no business living the life he had. If you
But
look
he
at
had a suit on, and he usually had a girl next to him, and he was always on the Love Boat too. I think he was a recurring character on the Love Boat.
he lived on the Love Boat.
Oh, is that the name of the doc? I don't know what the name of the doc was. It was something like that, though, Kat.
What did you? No, yeah, it's finding.
Is Paul Williams still alive? Maybe.
Yeah,
Something like that.
just Google it. I found it on Amazon.
Oh, Kathy found it.
Yeah, Paul Williams. still alive.
I can't click.
Thank you, Kathy.
It's in the comments. Yeah.
Hey, next week's episode we should do top 5 favorite Love Boat episodes.
Oh, I could brush up on my Love Boat this week. I would love that. I don't know.
Okay.
Not a little vague. That might be a little.
It's a deep well that doesn't
So-
need to be.
This is we're already hitting an hour here, but this would be the time that we ask people what we should talk about next week.
And then we usually don't listen to them, and then we come up with our own topic.
If any 9 people watching now have a very quick yes. Oh, she likes the Love Boat. Jen likes the Love Boat idea. All right. Well, we'll consider that. I think we'll consider anything.
How do we spin that then? So your top 5 favorite episodes from when you were a kid, like sitcom or something.
I think we already did sitcoms.
Chewing ice.
I am sorry. It's a habit.
I've never heard you do it on the radio.
This isn't the radio.
Wow.
Those are the last ice cubes. I promise.
It's all right. We've been here an hour and whatever. The only Love Boat episode that sticks in my mind is the one with Jill St. John.
Yeah, but which one?
She was on it more than once.
I'm sure she was. Favorite music social. Okay. The T. That'll be mine.
I have a favorite music social.
Do you? Which one?
It is the one that I was at when a little guy was there and he was blowing bubbles. And then there,
The last time we ever saw that
and
boy.
then there was an incident, and then nobody has seen him since.
And then he blew bubbles in his beer, right?
No,
And then
he
took a sip of the beer.
Well, yes, he was blowing bubbles, and then he took the bubble wand and put it in his beer instead of the bubbles because he was drunk. And then he sprayed beer all over me and my camera equipment.
That was smart.
Yeah.
That's another one. She was in, I think,
Wow.
every other episode.
All right, we'll come up with something.
But I think we might be on something. We might be on something here. Yeah. Can't comment. I'm painting.
Yeah, you commented.
All right, guys. So much for the fun. Time to go back to our real lives.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drink some beer and watch some TV.
Are you
I'm
guys
going
gonna really leave this time? Do I have to wait till the end again, or
No, we'll go.
bullshit?
Later.
Bye, guys.
Distracted driving, right round filming for you. Distracted driving, jokes and games and interviews. Distracted driving, tune in, have a good time. Distracted driving, Ray and Tim and Jay from behind.
I'm Ozzy Osbourne, and you've been watching Distracted Driving. Oi!